11 days after the Cloudless Fen, what remained of us reached the capital. We had marched 11 days with the mud of the marsh still on our boots, and every one of those days I had rehearsed what I would say when someone finally asked. No one had to ask twice. The Silver Marauders are gone. Not defeated, traveler. Gone. You must understand what that word meant. For 3 centuries, Stelvengard had not needed to win its wars. It only needed to be seen. A city glimpsed those banners on the horizon and surrendered before a blade was drawn. The Empire's true weapon was never the sword. It was certainty. The Silver Marauders were that certainty made flesh. Wherever they marched, kingdoms did not so much fall as fold. If you surrendered, your songs became customs, your language provincial, your grain imperial. If you resisted, fields burned, wells blackened, and the survivors built roads in chains. There was no third option. There had never needed to be one. Lord Marshal Stelvengard did not ask how many men had died. He asked how it was possible. The question of a man who already understood this was not a battle Stelvengard had lost. It was a story. And an empire cannot resharpen a legend the way it resharpens a sword. They pulled the survivors before him one by one. Most had nothing to give him but silence. I gave him everything. Golden hair beneath a gray sky, a blade too large for any hand, moving as if it weighed nothing at all. The Marauders had not broken the way armies break. They had simply stopped existing as one. Scattered, alone, dying in the reeds without fear on their faces, as if fearing anything else had become impossible in her presence. That was not the part that unmade the room. Wherever she moved, broken Tiresians, men already face down in the mud, rose. Not rallied, remembered themselves, traveler. As if something in them was only misplaced and she had shown them exactly where they'd left it.
The Lord Marshal leaned forward. Whose colors did she wear? Tiresias, I told him, emerald and gold, the lion on her breastplate, same as the men who died beside her. She was not some wild thing that fell out of the sky alone. She fought in Tiresian ranks, stood with their unit, marched out again when their army withdrew. Of everything I said in that hall, that was the answer that frightened him most. An empire that suffers a wound can mourn and press on. Stelvengard had weathered setbacks before, a lost skirmish, a stalled siege, a province slow to bend, and slept soundly after. But this was not a wound it understood. This was proof that the previous age had never truly ended, that something older than its banners, older than conquest itself, could still undo 3 centuries of iron in a single afternoon. An empire that meets something it cannot categorize does not mourn, it hunts. She shielded Teresia from ruin, and she sparked an empire's hunger to find where power like hers is born, to hunt down what remains of the old age, wherever it still hides, until Stelvengard can wear that power as its own. Cloudless Fen taught Stelvengard it could bleed, traveler, but it also gave a terrified empire its first scent of the old age and its ancient power.